Pokemon X and Y, and honestly the 6th generation as a whole, have always managed to avoid my interest. Whether this is due to the fact that it falls right between my favorite generations, or just the fact that I initially lost interest in Pokemon right when Gen 6 was hitting the world, I never really had a chance to experience this generation for what it was. With the release of Legends ZA being around the corner, I decided I wanted to replay Pokemon X and Y. This video will be the first of two, focusing on my playthrough of Pokemon X, and at some point in the future, I plan to make a video focusing on a playthrough of Alpha Sapphire. Hopefully you enjoy my playthrough of Pokemon X. Alright. This is going to be my first impression. I'm not going to be actually starting the game tonight. Oh, I didn't watch the opening movie, my bad. I've seen it before. Anyways, this is the welcome to the world of Pokemon speech, I guess. I haven't thought too much about my team so far, or how I'm going to be doing this playthrough, so that'll be interesting. I love the Pikachu 3DS. Well, what if you put your trainer name as something that started with the letter D? Would they be calling you Little D? That'd be mean. Sure, because I don't feel like typing out a custom... What does this guy have? Okay. I might get hate for this, but Fennekin is actually my favorite of the Kalos starters. I'm sorry to all the Greninja lovers, but Fennekin is my favorite. Should be spelt like that. I don't know why, for some reason, I thought it was spelt weird. Like, I feel like I remember it having Leo for some reason. That's not at all the case. It seemed to literally just be the word cloud. Let it be known, I've hardly played Star Fox. I've only played a bit of 64. And a bit of the first and second one on SNES, even though the second one is only half real. I don't know. Alright, and I believe there's a rival battle. But X and Y, I do also believe... Well, no. Actually, I don't know. I was gonna say this is technically the start of when your rivals started being a bit easier to beat. Because I knew you start with the stronger starter. Do you start with... Okay, yeah, this is just easier. What is this hand holding? Oh wow, and I burned. Is that scripted if you pick Fennekin? Or am I just insanely lucky? Wow, my attack fell. Too bad I'm using my special attack. And it gives you enough experience to level up. Okay. I prefer if they didn't hold my hand. Alright. I think that's all I'm going to do for tonight. Tomorrow, I will probably try to get past the first gym. I don't know how much time I'm going to have to play, but I will figure that out tomorrow, honestly. I'm going to bed. Alright, today is day 2, technically, or I guess day 1. I don't know, day 1 of actually playing. Day 2 of this recording. I don't actually know the main story of this game, so I'm gonna try my best to record what I think is important. I have like an hour and a half until my next class, so yeah. I guess I'll figure out the story as I go. Scatterbug, and I don't think it's that good, but I'll use it for now. Vivion's cool. After that, I went to take on the first gym. Apologies for moving the camera a lot here. I wasn't at my normal setup when I did this battle, so I kind of had to hold the phone myself while recording. Alright, let me turn this down real quick. I'm in my car right now, and I'm actually playing with it hooked up to the audio, so that's cool. Anyways, okay, focus. I beat the first gym in my little play session. It took a little bit of effort just to get my other, what's it called? Scatterbug? Yeah, my Scatterbug to get up to a level where I could actually do something to chip away at the first Pokemon. Where's my cursor? There it is. I guess it would be under bag. So, I finished my last class for the day, and I've been roaming around for a bit, but I said I'd record a bit more. I got the experience share. From what I've heard, this makes the game super easy because it's like bugged. Not bugged, I guess it was coded the way they wanted it. But I've heard that apparently something with how it works, it like just shares the experience, pretty much all of the experience with everything instead of dividing it. So I'm not sure how I'm gonna use this, if I'm just gonna try to moderate my usage of it, or if I'm just never gonna use it. I'm not sure. Leave off is what I want to do. Yep. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna use Scatterbug anymore because it's not really something I wanted to use on my team. It was more placeholder, and in hindsight, I feel like I would have rather used like a Pidgey or Fletchling. I think that's the regional bird. I don't know. I feel like I would have rather used one of those because the flying type. at least counters the bug type and helps me also avoid water sport. But I'm already done. This thing does not want to focus. There we go. Hopefully that works. But I feel like it's trying to focus on my reflection more than the actual game. But yeah, I'm probably just going to sit here in the air conditioning of my car for a bit and play. If I find another team member or happen into another important story battle, I'll try to record that. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Honestly, though, I will say the first gym was kind of hard, and that is just because of how early it is and how none of the starters are really that great. Because the only one that has the advantage really is Fennekin, but even then, the first Pokemon you fight is half water. So, it really makes you kind of think about what your team is. Oh my gosh, it's Lumio City! Oh my gosh, it's just like Legend ZA! Oh no, okay. Oh, I entered a cutscene. My bad. And now we get to pick starter! Woohoo! Kanto starter! So, I know Mega Charizard X is people's favorite and all, but first of all, I already picked a fire starter, so I don't really want to pick Charmander again. I'm also just not a big fan of Charmander, so I do like Squirtle, but I think I'm going to go Bulbasaur, because if you think about it, my fire type already is neutral once you think about it, like fighting a fire type. You know, it's neutral in that matchup. Neither of them do super effective. Against a grass type, it does super effective. But if I'm fighting a water type, I just lose. So, honestly, grass is just something that I'd like to have on my team. And I love Bulbasaur. So, I'm picking Bulbasaur. Alright. I don't actually know what's happening here at this part of the story. I don't know what two of them are doing here together. So I know enough to know that the man here is Lysander and this is Diantha and she's the champion. That might technically be spoilers in the sense that you're not supposed to know she's the champion yet. But again, I do know a little bit about the story of this game. So, Diantha, one of the most accomplished movie stars in Kalos. She moves multitudes with her excellent acting. Make people happy. So, I'm guessing the goal here is he wants to do something related to either stopping time or freezing the world as it is in some way. Because he thinks it's beautiful the way it is, or at least the best it's going to be for the foreseeable future. And he'd rather keep it this way. Alright, so I didn't get to do literally anything since the last time I recorded. But today in class I did get some playing done. I opened the 3DS prematurely, my bad. I did some super training since the last time. I didn't progress in the story too much, other than meeting Lysander and leaving the lab. I didn't go to the cafe or whatever yet. I changed my hairstyle a bit, just so it looks a bit more like me. Fill focus. Did some, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I did some super training on Bulbasaur and Fennekin. Not whatever its name is, I already forgot. Because I don't actually plan on, oh gosh, it won't focus. I don't actually plan on using Vivian in my final team, because there's two other fairy types I plan to use during this playthrough. So I think it's a fairy type. I don't know actually, but regardless, I don't think it's gonna be worth using over the two other fairy types I have in mind.
so I'm just not going to be using it. But another thing which I wanted to point out was this little light right here. For those of you who don't know, this is the little street pass indicator, which means I somehow found someone on Street Pass. It is 2025. Who else is bringing a 3DS to college in 2025? And not only that, not only did someone else bring a 3DS today, but I just so happened to pass them. Which is the craziest thing, because this is a pretty big campus. So that is crazy that I crossed paths with someone else with 3DS. I will say it was probably when I did go to eat lunch, because that does get pretty crowded. So that's probably how I even found them. What? This is not the evolution I expected to capture. There we go. Hey, Fennekin is evolving. Yay! It just learned its first psychic move. Nice. My entire team is paralyzed. Except for Valerie, I guess, but it's whatever. Oh well. Alright, I think I might have just found my next team member. I've been using exclusively my... What is this now? Braixen? I think that's what stage it is. And Ivysaur now. My Bulbasaur evolved. I don't think I recorded that. But I've been using exclusively them right now. So yeah, it's nice to have a different Pokemon. One I believe also originates from the Kalos region. Again, I don't know this region very well, but I'm pretty sure this is from Gen 6. Yeah, that's kind of funny, I guess. Oh, it didn't even show it. Hold on. Oh no. Zaciant. I don't know, however you want to say it. Because it's a sword, but not the sword Pokemon. Sword and Shield weren't even concepts at this time. They might have been, actually, I don't know. I don't know how far ahead Game Freak is. Absol, which is short for I am absolutely adding this to my team. I'm gonna name it Blogs, because Absol blogs. Or does he? He does. Maybe. I don't know about this one. This one's actually a girl. So, I guess, does she blog? Alright, so, normally, when I've considered the two fossils for this game, I pick the Sail fossil, because I just like that evolution line. But I want to try something different. Plus, I don't really know how great a rock ice type is going to be. I feel like if you're gonna pick an ice type to use on a team, you should pick one that's less frail in terms of typing, at least. So I think I'm gonna go with the jaw fossil.
Alright, so I've just beaten the second gym, which actually took way longer than I thought it would. In fact, I don't remember if I showed last time, but I'm almost 11 hours into the game. Oh my gosh. And like that entire time, of course I don't know how much of that is actual playtime, because I have a weird feeling that putting into sleep mode doesn't necessarily not count your playtime. Or at least under certain circumstances, because I've had times where I put, like, I'll close the 3DS and leave the game running, and then when I open it, it wasn't exactly where I left it. It had progressed a bit, which makes me wonder if when you do that, being in that state still adds to your playtime. I don't know. But I've been grinding ever since I got to this town. I also changed my clothes. Hee hee. But yeah. Looking forward to the third gym and hopefully adding some more team members. Today is also September 10th, and Pokemon Company has been doing a lot of Malamar promotion on their social media pages, and there's supposedly something related to Malamar happening today in a video. Makes me wonder if we're gonna get Mega Malamar. Alright. Oh. I encountered a Hawlucha. This is something I wanted to use on my team, both with the fact that it had a Mega announced recently, and also, sorry, I like just woke up. Yeah, that, and also I just did not want to use Talonflame again, because I've used it a bunch, so I wanted to try a different flying type. And I also didn't feel like using the Gift Lucario that's coming up. I do remember that's in this game. So I feel like this kind of works. Gives me a fighting and flying type. I'll name it Angry Bird. Because, I mean, Hawlucha looks like an Angry Bird. Not necessarily Angry Bird as in the video game Angry Bird, but, like, I mean, I'd argue he looks like a pretty, she looks like a pretty Angry Bird.
Does this count as a face reveal? I don't know, because technically, if you've been looking in the reflections of my 3DS screen, you've been able to technically see my face. I don't know how much the phone blocks, but technically you have been able to see my face throughout this playthrough. So I just finished up class. It is September 11th, which is an interesting day to be doing this, just because it's weird that I'm doing this on this day, because, well, I mean, we all know by now, hopefully, at least if you're in America. I don't know if other countries necessarily teach about it, but that's not important. That's not what I'm talking about today, or right now at least. So I'm right after the second gym. I think where I left off, I had just caught Hawlucha. I think that's what I just did. It's been a couple days. Last I played was actually Tuesday, because today's Thursday. I think Tuesday was the last day I actually played, unless, or was it yesterday morning? I don't even remember. I just remember I did play the game. But yeah, I'm pretty sure on the route Hawlucha's on, you can also find Eevee. I don't know how rare Eevee is, but I mean, if you know me, you know I like Sylveon. And Sylveon is in X and Y. That's the game it was introduced in. So if I can get an Eevee, that'd be great. Also, this is a ZA spoiler. This is your audible warning before I talk about it. Yeah, so I just, the other day actually, not just, this was yesterday, I think. Yesterday or Tuesday, I don't remember. It was yesterday, I think. I'm not 100% sure. Anyways, they revealed Mega Malamar, which is interesting. It's actually one of, if not my favorite new Mega for ZA so far. And I definitely think, as of right now, I'm considering using Malamar on my team for the Mega. Assuming it's not some weird, like, post-game exclusive Mega.
I don't know how they're doing the new Megas. I'd assume if they're going to be promoting them, they're going to be available during the story. I don't know. But Malamar is actually a pretty cool Pokemon. It's very underrated in my opinion. Dare I say that? I don't know. I don't hear a lot of Malamar talk. So it was nice that they had the whole little brainwashing people into loving Malamar with My Friend Malamar. And then they reveal that, and it was literally part of the advertising campaign. Just, yeah. That's the thing. It brainwashes people into liking it. That's cool. I like the design, and its little tentacles are like the colors of Splatoon 2, which makes me really hope that on the shiny, the tentacles are like the purplish blue and yellow of Splatoon 3. That would be kind of cool. Or even the blue and orange of Splatoon 1. I don't know which way they'd go with that. But I think that's kind of cool if they went for like a Splatoon reference, intentionally or not. That would be cool, I think. It's about all I have for this update. Hopefully the next shot of video is me actually getting an Eevee. I'm not quite sure how rare it is, so I'll have to do some encountering tonight and see if I can run into one. And then I'm going to continue the story.
Oh my gosh. My first fully evolved Pokemon. Oh, no. My first fully evolved Pokemon that has evolutions, I should say. Because Absol and Hawlucha are already fully evolved. Because they don't evolve. But that's sick. I have Venusaur now. Did I get the Mega Stone earlier? I don't even know if I have access to Megas yet. I think that's after the next gym. But that's pretty cool. Alright, so let me just save real quick. I am 22 hours into playing this game, which is unfortunate. It is October 5th. I don't remember when the last time was I played this, but it's been a couple weeks, I think. I just got really busy and haven't had time to actually work on playing the game. I just finished the third gym. I don't know if I said that already. And I also don't know if I already put narration for this or not, but ZA is literally like less than 2 weeks away at this point. And I kind of want to get through this game. So I think going forward, I'm probably just going to start using the experience share. And I know that's probably cheap, but I would like to finish this before ZA comes out. probably not going to claim it anytime soon, because that's one of the things I want to mess with. Because I know there's shiny lock removals. I think you can remove locks on that, because I think that one is currently locked in this. But I think it'd be cool if I could remove the lock and hunt that. Also, I just realized that the staircases have the mega pattern on them. And that's actually kind of cool. So I guess I'm off to the 4th gym? I don't know. Whoa. Eevee evolution? I think I did everything right for this. I'm begging right now, but I did not save, so if it's wrong, then it's wrong. Let's go, Sylveon! It's the mascot. No way. This was unexpected. Pretty cool. Let's see, I think my Honage is the only party member right now that isn't fully evolved. In fact, it hasn't even evolved once. I think it evolves late though. Alright, so I am officially done with Gym 4. It is 23 hours and 29 minutes into the playthrough. I have pretty evolved team. I'm just waiting on my Honage to evolve. I actually need to look that up and see if it even is a level up evolution. I'm pretty sure its last form is a stone, but who cares? I've been on a fun little YouTube dive just watching random videos that I normally would not click on. So that's been pretty entertaining. But it is 10:56 p.m. and I have classes tomorrow, so I think this is going to be where I wrap up this playthrough for today. Put in a good amount of effort for literally not playing this game at all in the past week or two. I should have a lot of time to play tomorrow though, so I'm hoping that I can at least get past Gym 6, maybe 7. Okay, finally, this thing is evolving. Which is great, because I was literally getting to the point where I was considering dropping it from the team just to get something different. But it's evolving, so I'm going to keep it around a bit longer. And if I can't evolve it in a reasonable amount of time again, then I'll probably find something different anyways, because I haven't used this thing too much.
I decided to take a little break from playing for a bit just to explore the campus. I saw a few cool looking buildings that I hadn't been to before, but didn't record anything. I had initially planned to go inside some of these buildings to get some stock footage, since a lot of them have pretty nice interiors. Sadly I didn't, so I only have this footage of me on top of a parking garage.
Okay, I thought this would be important.
I don't know if it's actually important, but it's AZ. I think that's all that scene is, but it was him. He's real. And he's gonna be in ZA, which drops in like almost a week. Little over.
Alright. I think it's logical to just keep doing these all as one. Start doing these all as one thing because I'm already recording. Might as well. Anyways, 24 hours and 50 minutes in. Just finished Gym 5. Hopefully I can get 2 more done tonight. It is 6:44 p.m. I think it's doable.
And right after saying that, I decided to go on a bike ride. What once seemed like a totally doable goal became an unobtainable dream. It was a very relaxing ride though, and I hope to be able to do more in the future. Once I got back from the ride, I took on Gym 6.
Is that the save? Yes, it is. 25 hours and 42 minutes. Sorry, I am very tired right now. I have no idea how long it has been since the last gym. There we go. Nothing much actually happened. Important, because I'm doing this all in one day. As far as story goes, I can't recall too much happening. I mean, I visited the Lysander Cafe. I saw the guy who told stories or whatever. I don't know, I feel like either I'm not doing a good job at capturing stuff that needs to be captured for the story, or the story really is that lacking that I genuinely can't tell. Because so far, it feels like all the story has been is just, here's a friend, fight him. I don't know. Anyways, I think I'm going to wrap up for the night because it is 10:08 p.m. and I have a class at 8 a.m. tomorrow. So yeah, I'm gonna call it a night, I think. And tomorrow, I should hopefully get to Xerneas. and finally do the thing I've been wanting to do this playthrough.
I have no idea if this is going to make it into the video, but this is October 7th, and it is currently pouring rain, and in about 6 minutes, about to be 5 minutes, I'm going to have to walk in this pouring rain for like 15 minutes just to get to my class, because there are no parking lots open to me close enough to it, at least not to my knowledge. Now, fortunately, I brought Absol, or I guess in this case you can call him Umbrella. This really puts a dent in my plans. I was hoping I could get to walk around again today, but this time actually film me playing because I forgot my 3DS yesterday.
Alright. It is now October 8th. I have not quite reached Gym 7. I'm falling a bit behind. I don't know why I clicked that. I had a concert last night that I had to go to. It was actually really great. The director was proud of us. Yeah, it is currently 26 hours and 58 minutes in. I'm going to work on trying to get to Gym 7 and hopefully finish it before I have to leave for class. So yeah. Alright, I have just finished Gym 7. It is 27 hours and 27 minutes into the playthrough. I am about to get ready now to go to my first class today. Unfortunately, there is a football game tonight that I have to go to, so I don't think I'll be able to get to Xerneas tonight. Okay, it is now October 10th. Which means there is less than a week left until ZA comes out. I gotta hurry up and finish this. Now, I haven't been able to play recently because I had a football game and then built the Lego Tuxedo Cat. Pretty fun set. I liked it. So, yeah. I think it's time I just go ahead and finish Pokemon X.
Seeing AZ makes me really wonder what role he may or may not serve in ZA's story. I have a feeling that he's going to end up being pretty important, or at least somewhat important, with him returning in the first place. And also the fact that AZ backwards is ZA. Start to wonder if it is just a coincidence, or if they're somehow connected. Of course, with Team Flare being evil, they activate the weapon regardless of what you choose. How fun. Initially, I had planned to shiny hunt Xerneas using lock removal, but due to a time crunch to finish the playthrough before ZA, as well as not thinking it was worth the time to set up the game to have a boosted shiny rate, I chose to just take the Xerneas as is. Look forward to a future video though, as I do still have plans to shiny hunt Xerneas in this game for a side project. Doing the series of battles against your friends, I started to wonder how they might tie into ZA. With the last Legends game, we saw a bunch of ancestors of characters, and I imagine ZA being set in the future will show us a bunch of descendants. So I think it'll be interesting to see if any of the new characters have ties to the group of friends from these games. I realize now that I don't think I ever mentioned some team changes I made during the late game portion. I gave my Hawlucha power-up punch over Flying Press because the combined damage chart started to bother me when Pokemon weak to fighting took neutral damage. I also added Xerneas in place of my Doublade as it just wasn't getting as much use as I was hoping it would. The last change I made was swapping my Venusaur for the Mega Lucario gift I had said I didn't initially want to use. Unfortunately, it was added kind of late and was about 20 levels below the Champion's Ace by the time I got there. But with it being X and Y, can you really expect it to matter? I won't lie, I actually enjoyed playing these games a bit more than I thought I would. Even if the story wasn't really the best at times, I still enjoyed the experience. My biggest complaint, if I had one, would be the fact that the teams used by most of the trainers in the game were kind of disappointing. Even by the 8th gym leader, the leaders only had up to 3 Pokemon, and the Elite Four only had 4 Pokemon. I could maybe understand this decision if X and Y were fairly hard games, but even then, Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl had the same Pokemon League teams as the originals did, and they had competitively trained Pokemon. I was also kind of bothered by the fact that despite Megas being the main gimmick of the generation, they didn't really get used that much. As far as I can recall, only 3 trainers ever used a Mega in the story, those being Korrina in the Lucario mirror match, Lysander in his battles, and Diantha, I don't know how to say that. It's a shame too, since most of the gym leaders and Elite Four members could have had better teams by simply just giving them more Pokemon and letting them use a Mega Evolution. It's likely I probably won't replay Pokemon X and Y again, aside from any additional saves I want to do. But if they end up getting remakes, I'll probably play those. But that's about it. I will give the game some credit though, because no Kalos would mean probably no Sylveon. So, I think I have to give it credit for that. Anyways, thanks for watching to this point. Hopefully you enjoyed and consider checking out some of my other videos. As for me, I'm going to enjoy my 1-day break I have for working on this video before ZA comes out and I start making that one. See ya.